This is a slightly strange way of looking at innovation, but when we arrived in Kosovo, the whole Serb administration, the administration of that province, had left. So everything from the local government to the power stations, the water pumps, the fire brigade, the police service had just left. And conversely, the 700,000 Kosovar Albanians who'd been kicked out proceeded to walk back in like a big football crowd over the first 10 days we were there. So you had a situation which certainly wasn't in my book in terms of how you dealt with it. And what I found hugely rewarding was the fact that I had a team that I could point people at and just say, look, go and fix it. And they did. The rifle company commanders became the town mayors of each little town. And they had to find the people, they had to deal with what the particular problems were there. They could call on my engineers in particular for help. There was a fairly thin resource. So self-help all the time was required, and their people skills all the time required. I had my chief engineer took responsibility for power and water. One of his subordinates had a brother in power gen and took on the big power station in Pristina. Somebody else took on the Pristina Hotel, which was taken over by bandits one night, and the journalists were all robbed. And I realized that if I did nothing else, if a journalist couldn't get a drink in Pristina, then there would be chaos in Pristina until I sorted it out. And I stood around the table one evening and said, right, I need somebody to go and run it. And there was a slight pause. And then some good man put his hand up and said, right, Brigadier, I'll take that one on. 2 months later, when we left, he got £2 million of UN funding, God knows how. He'd installed a general manager. The place was running. And I just offer those, power and hotel, neither things which are in a soldier's bailiwick, which were working, and the power station was working as well. Your people are far more capable than you imagine that they are, providing you can get their motivation going, or they can see themselves why they have to do it and self-motivate, and they will perform again to a level way beyond you think that they can, and they think they can too.